What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CG. I just want to focus in on the Washington Capitals for our 2016-2017 season preview editions. Definitely one of the most fun teams in the game to watch, and their series last year against the Pittsburgh Penguins had a little bit of everything. Some pretty cool goals, enough violence to satisfy the next 15 Michael Bay movies. I hadn't seen that many felonies since I was gonna make a joke there, but it's not even worth it. I mean, the stuff that was going on was absolutely banana land, and everything that's great about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Obviously, we know how it ended. Bonino, and the Cap season coming to a crashing halt, and the great Alexander Ovechkin still being Stanley Cupless. I don't even say that sarcastically. Alexander Ovechkin is one of the greatest NHL players. He's going to go down as one of the greatest scorers of all time because he's going to be 31, which it's kind of weird. Ovi's being 31. He'll be turned 31 this September, or 11 days from now. So happy early birthday, Alex. And he's already got 525 lifetime goals. That's a shitload of goals. He's led the league in goal scoring each of the last 4 years. He's done it 6 times overall. He's got the only 60-goal season of the last, last at least 20 years. I know that. I don't know what else there really is to say about Ovi. But that first line, let's start with that. He's excellent, we know that. Nick Backstrom, perfect center for him. When they drafted Backstrom back in 2006, you knew that this was their end result of having the playmaking center to play with Ovechkin. That came to fruition, when he came over in 2007. And then TJ Oshie is a perfect third banana on that line. You look at the productivity they got out of that first line right wingers in 2013, 2014, and 2015. In 2014, 2015, so that 2-year stretch, it was not good. When you factor in the kind of players they're playing with, and guys like Troy Brouwer and Joel Ward, both excellent players. Neither one really had the fit and the chemistry that Oshie did when he stepped in with those two. So that's a testament to his skill set and the way it all kind of worked itself out. But the second line, anchored by Evgeny Kuznetsov, who was one of the breakout players of last season in the NHL, is excellent. Him and Justin Williams, I think, had some great chemistry, and Andrei Burakovsky showed some flashes on that line as well. So we'll keep an eye on them in the season coming. I love Kuznetsov, and I think at 24 years old, he's scratching the surface. He's going to be a very, very productive center in the NHL for the next decade, and Washington should be very glad they have him, and they should be very proud of themselves for reaching up in the first round of the 2010 draft. If he wasn't Russian, he would have been a top 10 pick probably. He won 26. So, 77 points, played all 82 games last year. Awful showing in the playoffs, but we'll see if he's able to use those playoff shortcomings as motivation to really take it to another level in his third full season as an NHL player. So again, that's something to monitor as we go forward. But in the bottom 6, I mean, Tom Wilson is what he is, gives you a nice physical presence. They signed Brad Malone, who I think, again, is what he is. Daniel Winnick, they acquired last year at the deadline. Nobody wants to sign Daniel Winnick, but everyone will trade assets for him. It's like, it was the NBA player, Joe Smith, out of Maryland. Every year, a contender was giving up assets for him because it sounded like a shitty team and then get traded to it was banana land. But then they signed Brett Connolly. Good luck with that. Against Washington, that'll work out great. Psych. And so if they can get some productivity out of their bottom 6 guys and let them complement. Oh, Lars Eller. Lars Eller is a third line center. That's excellent. You go Backstrom, Kuznetsov, Eller down the middle. That's a pretty formidable trio to have, and I think will make the Capitals even tougher to play against. He's the kind of player that fits that system pretty well. He's got a lot of skill and a lot of creativity for bottom 6 guy, and I think his puck possession abilities will keep other teams' defenses hemmed in their own zone, which will in turn soften them up for Ovi and company to go to work. So I like that forward group, and I got my notes right here on my computer. I just kind of missed Eller, my bad. And again, that was a good acquisition. I feel. But anyway, forwards are great. On defense, anchored by Massachusetts / New Jersey native John Carlson, the All-American boy. He's an excellent defenseman. We know what he can do. He really emerged last year as one of the elite defensemen in the game, and something I always knew he was. I mean, someone's watched him play from his days with the London Knights, and he was at one point in time committed to play college hockey at UMass Amherst. So, if he didn't get hurt last year, he definitely would have been a top 5 in the North without question. He was the straw that stirred the drink on one of hockey's best teams, and you factor in how great of a playoff performer he is. He's one of those guys that he's a big game money player. He's proven that with Team USA internationally and obviously with the Capitals. So, average a point a game in the playoffs, 12 points, 12 games. So, testament to how talented he is. And, joining him on defense, Matt Niskanen, another great American player, great puck mover, does a little bit of everything, helps alleviate some of the burden. Carl Alsner, great physical presence, defensive defenseman, really fills in admirably at times. And Nate Schmidt and Aaron Ness, are both great Minnesota-born players and good depth guys. And Dmitry Orlov is still unsigned. That's going to be something that I think could be an issue, but I think he'll be signed by the time camp comes around. And we saw how well he played at times last year. I left out Brooks Orpik because, well, A, he's my former neighbor. He used to live next door to me once upon a time. And, I just think Orpik at 36, that contract was erroneous. So, I don't know what else there is to say about the Brooks Orpik deal and him as a player. And I think he's a dirty player, and unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but he doesn't get labeled that, I don't think, enough. And I know I'm going to piss off fans in Washington, and I'm sure fans. Actually, no, because he was throwing 30 hits in the Penguins series. I think Penguins fans would be like, oh, yeah, he's a filthy player. But when he played for us, he wasn't. So, again, I don't like the way the guy plays. Good guy, personally. He was always nice to me when I was little, but because he billeted next door to me when he was in high school, and he used to come out and play street hockey with us. But still, very dirty player. Can't play the game like that. In that, Brayden Olby, we know how great he is, and Phil Grubauer backing him up. I mean, Grubauer getting into the world team at the World Cup, I think or the Team Europe, what you want to call it. I think is a good thing. I think that'll definitely be a good experience for him. I think, again, he was a very good OHL goalie with the Windsor Spitfires, so getting some international exposure is definitely will help him going into camp. And Holtby's with, obviously, Team Canada. So, again, I like Holtby a lot as a goaltender. And, after what he did to my Bruins in that 2012 series, it's like, shit. The guy can play the game of hockey. So, we'll see what's in store for him this year. But the thing with Washington is I'm not gonna say they're like Ottawa, because actually, Ottawa made it to a final. They didn't. The Ottawa teams of the early to mid 2000s, early to late 2000s, really. They're in my list of 4 teams that can legitimately win the Eastern Conference. It's them, Pittsburgh, and the 2 Florida teams. I just rank them 4 out of 4. 4th out of 4 in terms of being able to break through and win the Eastern Conference this season. They probably will have the best record in the East. I admit that. But I don't know if it's a curse. I don't know what it is. They just can't seem to break through to that next level. And unfortunately, it's a what have you done for me lately league. And, the Sid versus Ovi storyline is so over. It's not even funny. And they're both obviously great players in their own right. But, Crosby's teams have dominated Ovi's teams over the last decade or so, internationally and in the NHL. So we'll see what happens this season. But I think the Capitals have a great team, but they will not win the Eastern Conference. If they do win the Eastern Conference, I will get a tattoo of Capitals fan Mia Khalifa, wearing an Ovechkin jersey. I'll get a tattoo. So hold me to that, everyone. Prove me wrong, Washington Capitals, and I'll have a tattoo of a adult film actress wearing an Alexander Ovechkin jersey on my body. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got this episode of the Follow Up Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes to the off season and beyond. Later, guys.